Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people as the traditional owners of this country throughout Australia and their connection to land and community. I pay my respect to them and their culture and to the elders both past, present and emerging. To start off, I would like to open my discussion with sharing my experience about my journey throughout the placement in the Department of Child Safety, Youth and Women. I was allocated to do my placement for Child Safety Service Centre in Beaudesert. As a student studying Bachelor of Human Services, my professional identity prior to placement consists of strength-based model, interpersonal skills, theories, and case management skills. However, my framework stems from religious ideology, life philosophy and values, family relationships, and recreation, but is not limited to my sense of empathy and honesty. My inner monologue prior to my placement was full of fear and doubt. A week after I have started my placement, I was enjoying everything due to how I was welcomed and accepted by the team that I was with. This gave me the courage to ask questions and seek clarifications on things I didn't understand or questioned. However, as the days passed, I realized that my ability to work in a team, meet expectations of management, and understanding Indigenous history and the impact of colonization for contemporary grief and loss, being culturally aware and recognized kinship system was very crucial for this placement, as most of the clients we handle are Indigenous people. During the next weeks of my placement, I had faced a few obstacles that impacted the way I was going to continue my placement. The first obstacle that I encountered was the pandemic of COVID-19 that has impacted all the countries around the world, including Australia. This took a huge toll on my placement, as many centres, including my service centre that I was placed in, businesses and facilities were affected due to the restrictions and laws that have been placed by the government due to the virus. Due to the severity of this virus, many staff members were working from home, which left low staff numbers who were working from the office. Although I was left with many uncertainties regarding the outcome of my placement, I was eventually given the opportunity to continue my placement. After that was cleared out the way, I began to enjoy being in the office, as I was always busy and working on something new. I had developed many skills that I haven't acquired before, such as filing cases and filling affidavits. Along those tasks, I was given the opportunity to accompany my supervisors on cases in person, such as visiting clients' homes, interacting with them and hearing their stories. Given that hands-on experience was an eye-opener for me, as I unlocked a new method of learning by implementing the skills we have been learning into the real world. Although the experience was enjoyable, throughout the last few weeks of my placement, the university had switched to virtual learning as new precautions were being enforced to ensure safe practices through this epidemic. Other changes were also made throughout the placement, such as having to stop my weekly supervisory meetings, as my supervisor had a very heavy workload and had to cut back on that. However, these factors have played a big role in my ability to continue working with the same level of enthusiasm, up until I met my new supervisor, who has discovered some skills in me that I was not aware of. Her feedback gave me the courage to continue my journey through placement and further develop my framework. I have learned how to face these challenges and to become adaptable by focusing on actionable solutions, not the problem. I gained the confidence to take responsibility and accountability in my practice. I have done that by using the strength-based approach and the task-centered practice. Looking back on how far I have come and the challenges that I have faced, my placement experience has given me the courage to overcome my fears and to know that I can overcome any obstacle, even with all the difficulties that I have faced. My practice framework has developed and will continue to develop over time. Being an ally, advocate, and practicing self-care is a very important key area that every social worker and human service practitioner should be aware of and should implement. It's also important to apply our ethical framework into practice and demonstrate culturally safe approaches, especially when we work with Indigenous Australians. With all the challenges that I had, I can now move forward with confidence, as my placement was full of ups and downs. However, that has made me successfully complete it with an overall great experience. I would like to end my discussion by using a Ralph Waldo Emerson's quote, "It's not the destination, it's the journey."